Good Sunday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Sunday evening going into your week. It is Sunday evening, and you know that on Sunday evenings we talk about the week forecast update. So, what week? This week, November the 2nd going into November the 8th, we'll be talking about our forecast. We'll be talking about the averages, how much rainfall we could potentially see as we go into this week. And then we also will be talking about just our current temperatures and current rainfall for right now, weather for tonight. We'll talk about the tropics as well, even though, not a lot is going on in those areas. We'll talk about that. We also will continue to talk about just what's going to happen just in the future, just in general. It can go all the way out into potentially like the mid latter portion of November, just how far out we can go. We will talk about as much as we can, obviously. And so, first thing we always say before we want to get into that, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. We're at 5 people watching and only 4 likes, so still, that's good. Pretty good. Pretty good. And so, also, if you are new and you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go on and do so. We right now are at 608. 608 subscribers. We are 2 away from 610. If you are new and you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go on and do so. So let's go in and talk about what's going on through our radar right now. Live radar is what's currently going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina. We do, in fact, have some rainfall ongoing. Rainfall ongoing over here inside of the Low Country, rather it be over here in Colleton County, over into Dorchester, Berkeley, Charleston County. These areas getting some rainfall going up. Over here near Florence, Manning, Timmonsville, these areas receiving some rainfall down over here into Dillon, going into Bennettsville. We do have some rainfall going on in these areas as well. And we have some more rainfall that's pushing it over here from the west as well. You can see this rainfall into Georgia, just moved out of Atlanta, going through Gainesville. Might move into the upstate a little bit, and there might actually already be some rainfall falling up in that area. Now, what's going on throughout the entire U.S.? Is there any snowfall going on? And we go in and check and see that first. Right now, I don't see any, but so it looks like just rainfall going throughout like southern Florida, rainfall going throughout the UP of Michigan, going into Michigan, even going into Wisconsin, Minnesota, and South Dakota. We do, in fact, have some rainfall going throughout those areas. The West and even the Rockies going into the Four Corners region just looks good in general. Not really looking for too much there. What about cloud cover? Cloud cover for right now, we do in fact have some cloud cover moving throughout the eastern part of the state, rather it be in the PD, the Grand Strand, or the Low Country. Cloud cover is moving throughout those areas. And then the upstate is also receiving some cloud cover as well as those showers activity that's kind of near it in Georgia moves its way up into the upstate. Now, what about even further into the future in terms of cloud cover? That cloud cover will try to move its way out. This is like tomorrow morning right here. And you still have cloud cover going on in the eastern parts of the state. Western parts of the state, relatively clear. But as we get later into the day tomorrow, that cloud cover will still remain. But then as we go throughout the nighttime hours, this is 9 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night, nice and clear. Even as you go into that Tuesday morning for election day, might have some cloud cover move in a bit later, but not as bad or anything like that. And this is election night right here, where cloud cover for the most part is on the isolated side. Current temperatures right now, 51 in Columbia as well as 53 inside of Orangeburg, 57 in Somerville as well as 59 in Georgetown, 60 in Murray's Inlet as well as 61 in Myrtle Beach, 58 inside of Conway, 61 in North Myrtle Beach, 53 inside of Hartsville and Florence as well as 53 inside of Bennettsville. We also do have around 60 in Charleston, and even around 47 inside of Greenville, 45 in Spartanburg, and 46 in Gaffney, York, and even 47 in Rock Hill. Low temperatures for tonight, you have around 41 in Anderson, 42 inside of Greenville, as well as 41 in Spartanburg, 41 in Greenwood, and 41 also in Newberry, 43 in Winsboro and Aiken, and 46 Columbia, 47 in Camden, 49 in Sumter and Sherrod, 48 in Orangeburg, and 49 in King Street, 51 in Moncks Corner, 52 in Charleston, 51 in Georgetown, and 53 in Myrtle Beach and Hilton Head Island. Now, for your rainfall for tonight, a good amount of rainfall definitely is possible. as we have that rainfall that's moving throughout the state right now. 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch goes in for Orangeburg, goes in for areas just to like the south of Sumter, going into the west of Kingstree, maybe near Camden or Cheraw, for example, as well. And so these areas in the light green could definitely see 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch in terms of rainfall. And just because your area here is not highlighted, that does not mean that you won't get rainfall. It just means that it might not be enough to accumulate. The crazy score for tonight, if you have no idea what the crazy score is, the score that we see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. This is for tonight. So we're at a 29. We are at a 29 as we go into tonight. It's going to continue to be cloudy. It's going to continue to be cloudy, isolated thunder possible in the CSRA, Columbia area. Mild temperatures, widespread shower activity goes on, and so that's what puts us in that mild category. And speaking of thunderstorms are possible. Western upstate, where that shower activity is going on in Georgia, as those showers move into the western part of the state, there is indeed that chance that it can move and bring in some thunder. And other areas as well over there near Myrtle Beach, going into Conway, going into Loris, going into these areas, North Myrtle Beach as well. Thunderstorms are also possible there if a shower gets going. There is definitely the possibility. Now for tomorrow, no thunder is expected for us there either for tomorrow, and same thing for Tuesday. No thunderstorms are expected there either. Excessive rainfall, we are good there for the next 5 days as well, so no flash flooding is expected for us. And now the models. Let's go in and talk about the short-term models first. And now we are actually since we're actually out of daylight saving time now, we actually are on the regular time in terms of models. And so that does not mean I have to pull up 2 models for short time. I can actually just use one, and it's all going to be at one concise models. And it's all going to be actually the most updated one as well, 0Z. So this one would usually come out at 9 o'clock, but instead it comes out at 8 o'clock. And so now we can go on and talk about this with more in depth and actually more accuracy as well. But this is 9 o'clock p.m. This is what we were looking at and what we were expecting at 8 o'clock for what to occur at 9 o'clock. And so, at least for the western part of the state, looks relatively correct. Eastern part of the state, there's a little bit more rainfall on the more southern side of that shower, but for the most part, still relatively on point. Go all the way to around 12 o'clock in the morning, you're seeing some shower activity even going on again in that Tri-County area, going on again in that coastal Grand Trend area, and then in the PD area, you still are seeing rainfall and downpour/thunderstorm activity potentially as well. That will continue the 3 to 4 to 5 a.m., and by 8 o'clock in the morning, we still are seeing some shower activity. Now, it's not looking like it's going to be as widespread as it once was. Looks to be more on the isolated to scattered side. But that still goes on all the way to 12 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. And then things really start to calm down as we get into like tomorrow afternoon. We look dry. We look good. High pressure moves through. And we stay dry all the way from like tomorrow afternoon all the way into like election night, pretty much. We stay under this high pressure and it keeps us dry. And so that's the short term. What about the long term? Long term is a bit of a different story because obviously it covers almost up to 400 hours worth of convection and just up to 400 hours worth of possibilities that could potentially happen. And so you go in and push this forward. High pressure remains here all the way through to like the 6th, the 7th. And then you have this rainfall that moves its way east over into North Carolina, over into South Carolina, over into Georgia, Alabama, Florida, these areas over here. And so is this a cold front right here? Is this a cold front? It looks like for the most part that it is. It looks like at least here it does. It could also just be, a little minor trough moving through. It could be either one. But if you want to look, that's dew points right there. If we want to look at temperatures and stuff like that, it looks like it for the most part. Now, as that line moves through, you have like a little like appetizer. And you go all the way to the 9th and the 10th. This is the real cold front. This is the real deal right here. Going to November the 10th, going into the 11th. Major cool air builds in. And this is not this week, so we won't be talking about that specifically. But for pretty much next week's going to be a pretty interesting forecast for us to forecast for next week, just because we're going to have warm air and cold air, just both at the same time. I'll explain it once we get there. But for now, huge cool air moves through next week, and then you continue this forward all the way through. High pressure takes over again. We stay dry, but then the 16th comes in, going into the 17th, and for the most part, it just looks like a little system right here moves through. I'm not seeing anything in terms of major cool air moving in. It actually stays relatively on the warmer side, like you can see here as well. So I'm not really seeing too much of anything there. This is like a future look at dew points though, and again, like I said, that just looks like it's just like a regular system. Not really looking too much into that right now. But in terms of just each day this week, looks to be pretty dry. Maybe the last day of the week, we could potentially be seeing something on that Saturday. But for the most part, it looks to be a relatively dry week. And so you can pretty much anticipate for this week, we will indeed have below average rainfall. And that's exactly what we have. We will have below average rainfall. We will not be receiving as much rainfall as we would usually see during this period of time. And so, not great. Definitely not great. We have the drought ongoing right now that goes throughout parts of the upstate, goes throughout parts of the western low country. And some of those areas definitely do need rainfall a lot, and some don't. Inside the white areas, you don't need rainfall at all. You may, want the rainfall, or you may maybe locally need the rainfall. It just matters on your situation if you have any plants or anything like that. But on a widespread scale, the areas in the white doesn't really need rainfall too much. The yellow areas, definitely can need it, but not dire. The tan areas, definitely you need it, and inside the D2, which is the more orangish areas, you definitely need it for sure. And so, not the greatest, but luckily temperatures try to save us this week, and that's because we will also be below average for the most part. If you're inside like the Midlands, the Low Country, the PD, the Grand Strand, those areas will be below average for when it comes to temperatures. But in terms of the upstate, it will be about normal. Temperatures this week. So it will be on the cooler side for the majority of us for this time of year. Now, does that mean that we will have some days to where, it possibly will be a bit warmer? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This just takes the week on an average scale. And speaking of, you can go even here into the anomalies. This is later. But right here, this is where we start off at. Cooler air moves in. You can see it all the way through the 4th, the 5th. But then, like I said, you get into like the 6th, the 7th, and you have warm air tries to move its way through, all the way into the 8th as well. So it definitely starts to get warmer the more you get into the week. And so we're going to start off cool, but then we're going to end off on a warmer scale. But it's going to be more cooler than average at the beginning of the week than it will be warmer than average at the end of the week. And so that's what causes it. Now, it's what after. Now, this is into next week. This is, Sunday right here when I do my forecast update for next week. We actually have a huge cold blast that will be coming in all the way into like the 10th and the 11th. Again, not this week. This is next week. But next week, we will have a huge cold blast being that will move through all the way into the 11th, the 12th, the 13th. And we will have to watch for this in terms of, not really, I wouldn't say in terms of like widespread freezing temperatures, but definitely there will be some freezing temperatures as we go into this time frame right here. And so we will indeed have to watch for some freezing temperatures though as you go into next week. Past that though, for the most part, we get back to being warm as we usually are, but then I'm even seeing some 80s potentially on here. Again, that's 300 to 400 hours out, so that's way too far out. But freezing temperatures are indeed on the way. Now, will it be this week? No, it will be next week. And that's pretty much going to wrap this up for our forecast for the week. Actually, no, there's one more thing I want to say real quick. I do want to see how much rainfall we will receive this week. So let me go ahead and look at that real quick. You start off here into the southeast, and it's not much. To be honest, it's not much at all. This is right here for the next 7 days. This goes all the way to Sunday, November the 9th at 7 p.m. Barely anything. Parts of the upstate probably won't even see a drop of rain. You will also have some areas, maybe even in the low country, that might not even see a drop of rainfall. You have like a tenth of an inch, maybe even to maybe around at like a half an inch max for the next 7 days, but that's all we're seeing. And that's pretty much, now that's actually will end it off for the week though. And so let's go on now, since we're done with that, talk about the tropics. The tropics, for now, still no tropical cyclone activity is expected for the next 7 days, so we are good there in terms of the next 7 days, so we are good. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with Mr. Chris first, who was here inside the chat tonight first, says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope y'all had a great day." I did. Thank you so much for asking. Good evening to you. Also says, started off cold, but turned out nice. And then about 5:30, it started raining. About the same at my house. It got dark very quickly. I thought it was obviously because of daylight saving time not being here anymore. I thought that it was like 7, 8 o'clock. And then I looked down and it was only 5:30. So I was like, okay. But yes, that's when it started raining for me as well. And I think it said that some more rainfall obviously is on the way, potentially for like the Tri-County area, I know, as they are already receiving some rainfall. Mr. Chris says, please remember to go hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Also share, help the channel grow. He's absolutely correct. If you are here right now and you have not hit the like button, we have 15 people tuned in and only 9 likes. 15 people here and only 9 likes. So if you are part of that 6 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free. You can change your mind anytime. Also, if you are new and you have never hit the subscribe button before, go on and hit the subscribe button. It's free. You can change your mind at any time as well. My Aunt Lula says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Terrell says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you as well. Joseph, how was your day? My day was great. Thank you for asking. Very, very good today. My Aunt Lula says, today in Georgetown, we had a little shower. Pretty much for the majority of us, even at my house as well. Just a little shower, nothing too much. If I even go back and see how much rainfall I actually got today, only around 0.05 of an inch, and it actually is raining right now, very light rainfall right now, so around a good 0.05 of an inch of rain fell, and so that's, not bad, but definitely won't do anything in terms of busting any sort of dry conditions. My name says, hello, Jay. Big win for your team, huh? Absolutely. Let me go and give the Panthers a applause real quick. Absolutely fantastic win. I watched it all the way from the beginning. Well, not the beginning, but close to the beginning, all the way to the end. Nail biter. It was a nail biter, but it was good. We got the win, so that's all that matters. Trail says, sunny morning, cloudy afternoon, and evening. Comfortable temperatures for me. I know for some people, you usually like these 50s, but for me, I say it all the time, cooler weather, not for me. Warmer weather, absolutely for me. So, not my favorite, but if it's at least tolerable, then I guess it's fine for me for now. Trail says Panthers won or not. Yes, they did. That says, good evening, Cousin Jesse. It was truly a very nice day here inside of San Antonio. He also says, how about them Panthers? Absolutely. You know what? Let's go and give them another round of applause. Let's go and give them another round of applause for that. Beat the number 1 team in the NFC. Just fantastic. Fantastic. 5-4. It's been a long time since we've been 5-4. I know this is not a sports podcast. We're gonna move off of this in just a second. But 5-4. Last time we had a winning record, 2021. It's been 3 years of sadness. 4 years of sadness. But we're finally here, though, so I'm glad for that. Terrell says, congratulations, Panthers. Absolutely. My Aunt Lewis said, yes, I'm a Panthers fan also. It was a great game. I'm so glad that the majority of everybody here is a Panthers fan. It makes me so happy. And then Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. And that's all that I see here for tonight. If you want to go in and leave something inside the chat, you can. I'll come back to it. You just have to be a subscriber of the channel. Let's go on and talk about the full locations outside of South Carolina. Talk about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and also Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about those full locations is because we have people from those areas who tune in almost nightly. And so we will go on and talk about their location because they're not even here and they still support us either way. So we always start off with San Antonio first. You have low temperatures tonight at 52. High temperatures tomorrow at 78. And then low temperatures tomorrow night at 54. No precipitation is expected at this time. In terms of severe weather. For San Antonio first. Nothing for you. You are good in terms of severe weather. Excessive rainfall. You are good there as well. For Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 52, high temperatures tomorrow at 66, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 41. Rain is expected tonight, and patchy fog is expected as you go into tonight and tomorrow as well. So you will have to watch out for patchy fog, low visibility as well as the rainfall moves through, and then also patchy fog as well. So both of those ongoing at the same time. Philadelphia being the third of the location, by the way, no excessive rainfall and severe weather for you in Raleigh. But for Philadelphia, low temperatures tonight at 45, high temperatures tomorrow at 60, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 45. Precipitation is not expected tonight, but tomorrow there is a slight chance of rainfall as you go into tomorrow during the day. No precipitation tomorrow night either. In terms of severe weather and excessive rainfall, nothing for you. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 46, high temperatures tomorrow at 78, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 49. No precipitation is expected at this time. In terms of severe weather, nothing for you. And for excessive rainfall, same thing. So you're good for both. And that's going to wrap that up for those 4 locations. What's going on throughout the entire U.S.? A cold front will cross the Great Lakes and the northeastern U.S. through Monday with gusty winds in areas of rain showers. A strong atmospheric river is expected to move into the Pacific Northwest by midweek, bringing a threat for moderate to heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and mountain snow for parts of Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and the Sierra Nevada. We also will have some frost that will be ongoing in Arkansas, Louisiana, going into Alabama, as it will be getting cold in those areas, cold enough for frost. Dense fog will also be ongoing in Tennessee. And then, for the most part, that's all that I can really see for right now. Let me go on and check out the chat one more time. I don't see anything here. Remember, if you have not submitted your question yet for the Q&A that is about to be coming up, make sure that you go on and submit it. You can send it to me. If you have my phone number, you can just send me the question there, or if the list of questions that you have for the Q&A for the 600 subscriber goal that we hit. Also, you can send it to me in an email, scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is scweather360@gmail.com. Or you can leave it inside the YouTube chat that we have right now, or you can put it inside the YouTube comments. Just any way that I can get it. I will go on and do it. But make sure that you say it is a Q&A question so I don't accidentally answer it before the time frame occurs. And that's all that I can see inside the chat. That's all that I have really for that as well. Remember, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. If you are new and have never hit the subscribe button, go on and do so as well. Hit the share button. Share it with your friends, family, your worst enemy, your coworker, the person that you see sometimes in the store. Just anybody. It doesn't matter. Just go on and send it to them. So they can go on and hit the subscribe button. We did have a Gmail, a picture tonight, that came in from Thad earlier. It actually was yesterday, right after I was done at 9:40, so I didn't see it until today. But here it is, a nice sunset view. He said, "Look at those clouds against the sky." And a nice sunset ongoing. Very nice picture. Again, if you want to send me a picture or send me the Q&A question, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is SC, like South Carolina weather, 360@gmail.com. And that's all. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Sunday evening. Top fans, Mr. Chris at number 1. My Aunt Lula's at number 2, and then Trail's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans for the night tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to be here early, and you have to be a subscriber so you can actually type and be active inside the chat. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Sunday, and make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning for your Monday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Sunday, like I said, and make sure that you have a good start to your week.